Hello my dear students, welcome to another video of your channel Learning English with Peter. En esta ocasión continuaremos con la práctica número 2 de Listening, nivel Beginners, es decir, principiantes. Tomen en cuenta que encontrarán mucho vocabulario que posiblemente sea desconocido para ustedes, para lo cual les pido que tomen nota de esas palabras y las busquen en su diccionario o en su traductor respectivamente. El cuestionario correspondiente a cada una de las conversaciones lo encontrarán en la descripción del video.
My name is Afzal. I'm 28 years of age. I live in East Oxford in a shared house with a friend of mine. Her name's Sue and she's a yoga teacher. I live there along with someone else called Dave and my little boy who's 5.5 years old. His name is Zach. He lives with me for half a week and then he goes off to his mother. She also lives in Oxford and he goes to school not far from where she lives. He goes to primary school. He likes sweets and biscuits and cartoons and dressing up. He likes playing with water pistols and having friends around to stay. He likes birthday parties and ice cream. My hobbies. I like music, gardening, reading, poetry, a little painting, that's oil and not watercolors. I also like to sing in the bath, but I don't do that very often because there's generally someone in the house. Like I said before, it's a shared house and we all have to mind what we do. The other day I was in the garden and I heard my little boy asking Dave not to leave his cigarette butts out in the garden. He said this was because Mrs. Martin, his teacher, said that cigarette butts were poisonous and the birds would eat them, so we shouldn't do this. Dave, who used to be a Marine, thought this was very funny but said that he would not leave any more cigarette butts in the garden.
Last June, I traveled to Ecuador to visit my fiancé. I went right after I graduated from college so that I would have a couple weeks to help plan the wedding. We got married about 3 weeks after I got to Ecuador. The planning, as you can imagine, was pretty crazy because we only had 3 weeks. So things started kind of falling together at the last minute, but the last day was pretty crazy. Because we had so much planning to do for the wedding, we didn't have much time to visit the tourist attractions. But since my mom and my sister also went to Ecuador to be part of the wedding, we went to the beach, which is a beautiful beach on the ocean, and we almost went to a beautiful indigenous market called Otavalo, but we didn't. One thing we did do, we visited an indigenous tribe in the city where my fiancé is from. That was quite interesting. We also spent a couple days walking through the city and going to little stores where they sold different handcrafts that people from Ecuador had made. Other than that, we spent a lot of time planning the wedding, and it was very nice for me to see my mom and sister and for them to meet my fiancé. That was pretty much how I spent my Ecuador vacation this summer.
For breakfast in the mornings, sometimes I have a glass of orange juice with cereal and milk and a piece of fruit like a peach or some strawberries or a banana and a piece of toast if I get hungry with butter and jam on it. Sometimes I'll have eggs, scrambled eggs with like an omelet with cheese and mushrooms on it. And sometimes I'll just have a bagel with cream cheese and jam. And that's my basic breakfast. My typical lunch is a sandwich either turkey or ham with cheese and lettuce and tomatoes. And sometimes I have mayonnaise on the bread. And sometimes I have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, followed by a piece of fruit again. Like, plums are really good, and nectarines are yummy too, and I love grapes. And then I'll have a cookie or a granola bar or something like that for dessert. Dinner times, that's where I have my big meal. And I love steak or hamburgers, anything that has meat in it. I love chicken. And then usually for a side, I'll have like potatoes with a vegetable, like broccoli I love. And then follow all that up with dessert at the end. And ice cream is my favorite food, so that's a nice dessert.
Generally, my daily routine starts off in the morning at about 7:30ish. I'll wake up and sort of rise and start making breakfast for Zach. He'll sort of wake up about the same time, and then he'll get dressed. I have to sort of promise him breakfast first and then maybe a cartoon, and then he'll get dressed and sort of carry on with the rest of the day. He'll always ask to watch television before he gets dressed, but if I do that, then the whole routine's out of sync, and that will never work. For breakfast, we normally have puffed wheat, fruit, that sort of thing. Or organic bread with some marmalade. We will have toast, that sort of thing. He'll have 2 or 3 slices. I generally tend to overfeed him. I think parents everywhere do this, and in the winter time I'll overdress him as well. In the summer I think I do too. We have a running battle after breakfast where he'll say, no, I don't want to put my jumper on, and I say, you will put your jumper on, and I know when he gets to school he'll take it off, and he always does. And then he comes out of school and he forgets to put it on, so I know he's taken it off, and we go through the same thing day in, day out, but I never stop and he never does either.